to the I Do Crew podcast with Jen and Emma. Please like, subscribe, rate, and review our podcast on the platform you listen or watch us on. Thank you so much for joining us here every week to listen to our thoughts, musings, and games and feedback from all of you lovely listeners. This week, if you're watching on YouTube, Em is back in the room.
Hello.
Welcome back, MZ.
Thank you. I watched last week's as a viewer on YouTube. Watched
What
you
did
and
you think?
Tyler. It was
What did you...
very nice. It was very nice watching you both. It's fun. It's funny because I don't often watch it back, because it's just a bit cringy when you're watching yourself. But it was really nice to sit when I was recovering from being ill a little bit and watch my two besties have a chat.
Oh, that's nice.
It was nice.
Loved talking about J and K.
Yeah. It made me excited actually for her wedding.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. Tyler messaged me yesterday because she was sharing some of the content from the Insta stories, and I'd noticed that she'd only popped it to her close friends on Instagram, because she wanted to make sure that Jay didn't see the reels that I'd cut.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? When you're doing the podcast, because it's just like us just having a chat, and then sometimes you have to sort of watch yourself and think, "Oh, probably shouldn't have said that."
Oops.
Yeah,
I've learned the hard way, so don't talk about anything now.
everybody's just generic people.
I once went to someone's wedding 16 years ago with no detail about who it was whatsoever.
No descriptions at all.
None. No. I honestly don't know how, well, I guess it's different if you're a TV presenter or something because you're not really talking about your own experience. Yeah, I don't know if I could be trusted in a live interview scenario. Anyway, please share our podcast, share our page, share our stories, just like Tyler did. Share whenever you can share with your people.
Tyler will be back.
Tyler will be back.
Yeah, everybody loved her, so we'll get her back.
Because then we'll be able to see the before. Maybe we should do some stuff with her during and then after.
Oh yeah, we could get her drunk and record a bit of podcast during her wedding.
That's a great idea. I'll pack all the kit in my hand luggage so that it doesn't get lost.
Yeah.
And just live from Corfu. This week we're talking all things alternative wedding ceremony. So we did chat about personalizing your wedding, and we did talk about what was that creepy thing that you said? Ring warming ceremony element.
Yeah.
But this week we're talking about making your ceremony a little bit different.
Mm-hmm. Bit
So
fun.
yeah, I've created a little game. So back by popular demand is Rate It or Hate It. But have you ever been to a wedding ceremony, where it's been a little bit different, maybe a little different in the ceremony, wedding party, or...
So I was thinking about this, and I'm going to be really boring and say no, not really. They've all been pretty bog standard, like nice.
Mhm.
And I don't think you can get away from that feeling when a bride walks down, you see them at the top of the aisle. Like that is just a wonderful feeling, whether you're really close to them or not. But they've all been pretty bog standardy. I've been to a couple of church ones, and I've been to a couple of registry office ones, and I've been to a couple of registrar led ones in different types of venues. But there's nothing really, really memorable that stands out in any of them. They've all been pretty usual. What about
Uh,
you?
Well, I think flower girls in today's day and age are unusual. Like little children, like
Yeah,
little flower girls.
I think it's because they're a bit unpredictable. So it is a bit risky because
Yeah.
you just don't quite know what they're gonna do, or if they're actually gonna make it, or if they're gonna scream, or just sit down and start eating the petals, or what. You just
But
never know, do you?
at my sister's wedding, the three flower girls were going first, then me behind, followed by the rest of the bridesmaids. Literally before the door had even opened for us to walk down, one of them had spilt all of the flowers on the floor.
Yeah, exactly. You just don't quite know, do you?
It's like, oh, we actually need those in a sec, so
Scrape them up, put them
just
back in the
put them
basket.
up. But is that the only, that's the only wedding that I think I've been to in the last 10 years, let's say, with flower girls?
Yeah, they're not so popular anymore. Let's
No.
bring them back because that unpredictability is actually what makes it quite fun. Because you just
Yeah.
don't know. They might spot like granddad in the corner and just go running up to granddad and sit on his knee. But that is actually like the cute moments that, isn't it? It doesn't have
Yeah.
to be perfect.
No. At my sister-in-law's wedding, okay, so my brother's wedding, um, that was a really weird way to describe that. Um, she had her son and her nephew walk down the aisle, but they would you say that they were probably technically page boys, but they were just in the procession.
Yeah.
That was it though. No other, well, no spoilers for my game, but
And I
nothing
think
else.
no. I think doing wild and wonderful things is a little bit more common in America. They tend to be a bit more um risk it sort of type attitude where we're quite a bit more conservative. And I think there are some rules if you're having a registrar led service. There are a bit more rules that you have to follow,
Hmm.
but doesn't mean you can't do things.
No, and I guess an easy way to do that is your celebrant because you can have, if it's not registrar led, then you can have a bit of fun with your celebrant and
Yeah, they kind of like the weird and the wacky and the ideas, don't they? They sort of run with it.
yeah. I think those celebrants that go down the road of sensible registrar, I'd be interested to know how well they do. Because you'd
Yeah,
probably book a celebrant if you want something just a little bit different to registrar.
but unique. Yeah, I think yeah. Oh, yeah, because there are some celebrants that are a bit more formal, but I suspect they let you play around a little bit more than a registrar would.
Did we meet that one? Was he a celebrant or was he an MC? And he was in like a red coat jacket,
He's an,
military.
he's an MC.
Oh,
I don't think he has a license to get you
oh,
married, but
that's
he'll call you to procession, I suppose.
that's a shame because I think he'd do quite well.
Yeah, I think he would too.
Then he could do both.
Unpredictability, I think, would be what his market audience would be.
Yeah,
If you're not sure what's going to happen, I'll help you along.
yeah. So people just hire him to call people to dinner, do they?
Yeah, I think he helps, be upstanding for cake cutting. He's the person that just tells everybody where to go, which is a really important job. You can give it to somebody, but he does it. I think he does it in quite a fun
Mm,
way.
I'd hope so if I'm
Yeah,
paying him.
yeah. I don't really know much about him, but he's seems quite fun and unpredictable, maybe.
Mm, maybe I'll research him a bit more and come
Yeah,
back to you on that.
try and get him on the podcast.
What a great idea.
If nobody can see Jen's face, then I don't think that is a great idea.
We slated you for the last 5 minutes, but please come and educate us on MC duties.
Yeah, well, it's important to have one.
Yeah, I'm all ears. Should we go straight into the game?
Let's play the game. Awkward
I've got nothing
silence.
else. Ooh, back by popular demand, we're going to play Rate It or Hate It.
Brilliant. I haven't got my rate it or hate it pieces of paper.
Have you got the theme tune?
Rate it or hate it. Is that different than last time?
I think that's pretty much the same. So we are going to rate or hate on these ceremony differences. I don't even know how to describe them, to be honest.
Ideas.
Yes, ceremony.
Creative ideas for your ceremony.
Yes. This one, I mean, I love this. I saw this as a TikTok while I was researching for this episode, which might not sound like I've researched at all, but I definitely researched the next 6 examples. They had like a gang of children dressed as security guards with the little suitcase, child-sized suitcases with the rings locked inside them. So you've got like this mob of like 4 kids walking down the aisle with these sunglasses, little security guard, like little ties on. Like it's really cute.
Really fun.
Ring bearers.
Yeah, that's really fun. I rate that too.
Rate.
Yeah. Because they had, I've seen it, I think. They have little sunglasses on, like little fake earpieces and stuff, don't they?
Yes.
It is really fun, really cool.
But these kids were, I'd say, 5 or 6.
Yeah, perfect.
I don't know about your experience with 5 or 6 year olds, but my nephew, he's an angel. I love him with every ounce of my being. But if he doesn't want to wear something, he's not going to wear it. So you could plan for him to be this security guard, like gangster, walking down the aisle in his suit and his glasses and everything. If he's not feeling it on the day, he's not going to do that.
No, that's what anything with children is a bit of a risk, and you just have to sort of go with it.
Mhm.
But because it's not just a boring old suit, and he has got the sunglasses
Mm,
and like the earpiece, and he's got the suitcase, I think they'll be more inclined to do it, and they'll sort of strap down, they'll play the part.
maybe I'll ask him.
I think they would.
He likes dressing up on his own terms, though.
Yeah, it wouldn't really work if he was dressed up as Spider-Man, would it?
No. I mean, he loves like a Halloween gory. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'd have to bribe him. But if he didn't want to do it, he wouldn't do it. He's very
Yeah.
definite on his answers.
And actually, they'll say, yeah, yeah, and all running up to the day, they'll be like, this is really exciting, and they'll be excited for their part. And then 10 minutes before you're actually about to walk down the aisle, they're just like, nah, I'm not doing that. And then you have to quickly think of a plan B. Because the worst thing is forcing them to do it and then going down crying.
In a mood.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the costume is only going to fit 5 year olds.
Yeah, you can't then put it on someone else.
Okay. So we're rating that, aren't we?
Right, yeah.
This is not technically ceremony, but again, a creative first look idea.
Mm-hmm.
First, so when you traditionally it's father of the bride that gets like that big wow factor first look of the bride in her dress and everything. First look with your dog.
To get that piece of footage of them bounding up with like big eyes. I
That's
mean,
a rate from me, but I don't the
just make sure that they're
logistics.
clean, because that muddy dog that's just been rolling in fox poo comes bounding up to you, and then you've got a big smear down the front of your dress.
And also, I've only ever seen the examples when it is outside with nature.
Mm.
So they're having like an outdoor wedding, first look reveal with your dog.
And if it's like a big golden retriever and they come bounding at you and then accidentally push you over, and then you've like fallen in a bush and your hair's all askew.
And they
I mean,
nearly always are a retriever.
yeah, it's because they're
And they
wet.
just sit there in the videos I've seen. They're like, oh, yes, like just wagging their tails, not
Would Callie just sit there?
No,
No.
absolutely not. I don't think you would even get Luna outside for that long to do it.
Luna would just look over her shoulder and be like, go away. I'm sleeping.
Are you rating or hating?
I'm hating that.
What?
Yeah, I just think, what's the point? I mean, you're doing it for yourself. The dog literally is not like, oh my God, my mum looks so beautiful. They're like, oh, give me a treat, give me a treat, give me a treat.
That is true. Um, flower women passing out shots as they walk down the
Oh,
aisle.
love it. I rate that.
Rate.
Oh yeah. Just giving everyone a little bit of a drink. Makes that whole procession thing a bit less awkward.
Yes.
Because being a bridesmaid at the front is just really awkward, isn't it? Because you've got to go really slowly. But if you've got like a job and everybody's like, oh, give me one, it like makes it a bit less
Yes.
awkward.
If you've got a job. I'm surprised that you rate that because if you're in, are you thinking it more as being the person doing it?
Yeah.
Because if you were in the congregation, are you going to be, is that what you call it?
Uh, cool. Move
The
on. Move
wedding
on.
guest,
Quickly
the
move on.
wedding guest seating area in the ceremony. Like, are you going to be drinking that?
I think it needs to. One of the ones I've got on here is a toast for when they say I do.
Oh, I
Like
quite like that.
make that like a thing and everybody raises their glass or whatever. So you could hand out like little gin and tonics or, something and have a
Yeah.
little note on it saying from the bride and groom, pop open at I do or something.
Oh,
So
yeah,
that
that's a good
people
idea.
know not to just drink it before. So give
Yeah.
some instructions on it. So you could have a bit of fun at the beginning, handing them out and everybody getting excited, and then you could use the drink in the ceremony a bit later.
Yes. Shouldn't think. Oh, well. Good idea. Flower man.
Yeah, perfect. In their bum bags. Boom, ba, 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 ba. But it's got to be a man that has
An
a mo
extrovert.
like with a tash, and he doesn't mind like doing some hip thrusts and camping it out a little bit. It
Yeah.
can't be like just a normal guy just quickly throwing it and running down the
No,
aisle. He's really got to sell it.
it's got to be a performance.
Exactly. Like performance.
Yeah, not just
Yeah, I love it.
flower grands.
Love it. Rate, rate, rate.
It's just so cute.
Get them nans involved. Give them a job.
Like, how cute is that? Having flower grands.
Yeah. They don't even have to sell it like the flower man.
No,
They can literally just totter down arm in arm together, can't they?
it's just so
Throwing,
so cute.
have a big basket between them and they're just throwing the petals.
I
Yeah,
want to do that.
yeah, I love that idea too. Because
I
I
have
think often
children,
that
so
grandparents feel a bit left out.
yeah,
And so that's a nice way to and it's always the nans that feel more left out. I don't think grandpas are that bothered, really, are they?
it's
So
as long as they,
get the nans involved.
I think as
I,
long
I
as
mean, if they both have Zimmer frames, I think that adds to it.
it's just so cute.
Yeah.
I think as long as the granddads have a chair, they're not really that bothered, are they?
No.
As long as I can sit down, I'll do whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, so a voice note played from the bride before walking down the aisle.
I've seen this and I think I am a bit cringed out by this. But I understand that the wedding is about the couple. Completely get that. But that to me screams,
Narcissist.
yeah, this is all about me, guys. So before you see me, you're going to hear me and I'm going to tell you what I think. It's just a bit much. You know?
I'm going to put a different perspective on this.
Mm,
Rock horror, I hate public speaking.
yeah.
So for me, having something pre-recorded that is played to my husband to be, so I don't have to do a speech or anything like that. I don't have to speak in front of anyone. To have it pre-recorded and then played, whether I mean, I'm not sure the timing really. To me, is my preference. I'd rather do that than read my vows or do a reading or present at work. I'd rather pre-record than have to worry about anything to do with that.
But you still have to say your vows. I think that's what, unless you've already been married and this is just like
Yeah,
a show,
a show wedding.
you have to say them.
Yeah.
So you'll do a pre-recording, whether it's where you're both at the aisle and you're just stood there looking stupid while your voiceover plays, and then you say, "I do," or whatever your vows are. Would that not be more awkward?
No, I think that'd be hilarious. Everyone would be like, "Are her lips
Um,
moving?" Or what's happening right now? Because I can hear her speaking,
you just
but
get your phone out and press play on a voice note.
I'm telling you, the most anxiety I had was saying my vows in front of people. Don't know why.
I don't even remember saying mine. It's all a bit of a blur.
Yeah. But if you'd pre-recorded a message for George to be played before you arrived, then you could then play that in the future.
Yeah, that's true. I still think it's a bit icky.
Maybe you could do it. This is a bit morbid now, but I like to plan for the worst case scenario. Let's say you had a terminally ill relative. Wouldn't it be nice if they did a little recording that could be played in the ceremony as if they are there speaking from beyond the grave?
Oh, I don't know, Jen. I think that's a bit weird too.
I would do that.
Hi, this is Auntie Mel, currently in hospital dying. Jen asked me to pre-record this message for her wedding. I'm sure you all look very nice today and the weather's beautiful, and I wish the happy couple some love and happiness for many years to come. Unfortunately, I won't see it because I'm dead.
You wouldn't word it like that. You would be like, you see that empty chair? That's for me, that is.
No, Jen.
No? What's the difference between that and an empty chair with someone's name on?
Their
If
voice
you're
isn't playing on the in the acoustics. I think the empty chair is a nice signal to say you remember them on this day. You don't need them coming to gob off, do you?
I just wish you well. Here's a voice note from me from beyond the grave.
I think them kind of things are for personal use only. So if she'd have done that for you to listen to while you're getting married, while you're getting ready, very nice. Don't think it needs to be played in the ceremony for everybody to get really upset by before you're about to say I do and crack your gin and tonic open.
Well, I would like to see what everyone else has got to say about this.
We are not in agreement, Jen.
Luckily, it's not on the list, so technically, it's not part of the game. Just spitballing ideas. Pet ring bearer.
I love it. Great. Again, very risky. You don't
Yeah.
know where they're going to run. If you've got a golden retriever that knows to walk down the aisle and sit down with the little basket in its mouth or whatever it's doing, great. If you've got a little dash hound, you just don't quite know what they're going to do.
No, and again, I've only ever seen it with a golden retriever.
That's because the only ones you can trust is a Labrador or a golden retriever. There's no trust in
Cavapoos.
Cavapoos. Definitely no trust in a Cavapoo.
Also, if it was Kaya, so Kaya's a working Cocker Spaniel, the last thing that she'd want to do is get to the end of the aisle. She'd want to say hello to all of her brand new friends that are either side.
Exactly. Eating the flowers that you've just paid so much
Yeah,
money for, knocking them over and breaking all the bud vases that you've just hired.
yeah.
Yep.
And then she'd probably see Grandpa and be like,
Yeah.
and then you wouldn't be able to get her away from him.
No. So I'm sure there is a way you could do it with lots of training. But when you're planning a wedding, who's got time for
I'm
that?
changing my mind. It's too much hassle.
On
No.
Instagram, it looks beautiful and is very
Yes.
cute. In reality, I personally don't think it would work.
No.
And there's no way you're getting a bow tie on a like Luna. She'd be like trying to get it off.
Oh, Kaya would wear the bow tie.
Yeah.
It would be getting her down the aisle that would be the problem. Like you'd set her off at the top of the aisle, and then yeah, she'd be like, "Oh, look at all of my new friends that I've
Bird,
never met
bird,
before."
bird.
Yeah, this would be terrible. Bird of prey slash owl ring bearer. You know when they swoop in across the audience or whatever you want to call those people that are watching, your guests. Swoop in across your guests.
I've been an evening guest at a wedding that was at a bird sanctuary, and I didn't see that happen because I was only an evening guest, but apparently it was really cool.
I've seen it happen once, and the owl missed its mark.
Oh,
So it just looped around and went back up to the top there. Then they had to call it again. Swoop
they're
down.
but they're more predictable than a dog.
Yeah, and it went wrong.
Yeah, but I don't think it goes wrong very often. And it's not like it just went off with your rings in the distance. It did
No.
sort of, it went back to start again because it got.
Yes. But it was inside. So the risk of it flying out the window was quite small.
The nice thing about the one that I went to but didn't witness was that part of the entertainment in sort of the cocktail hour was if you wanted, you could go and hold some of the birds and meet the bird that just delivered the ring. So that was quite nice. Like two for one.
Yeah.
But they are quite scary birds of prey because they're massive, aren't they?
I think it's got to be like a cute little owl. Or
Yeah,
it's
the
just
cute
too
little
much.
owls are a bit like cute little dogs. Don't really do that kind of thing.
This one, I don't think it was small that I can't. I've got a picture of me and the owl somewhere because again, owl ring bearer and then photos after. I'll find it and then we can see the scale of the giant owl that I've blocked out of my mind.
I think that's quite a nice idea.
Yeah, that's it on my list of rate it or hate it.
I've got a few. So these are less sort of entertainment, more cute little things that you could do. I've got um personalized programs on everybody's seat, so everybody gets to. Because so often, as a guest, you're sat there for quite a while, aren't you, before the bride turns up?
So I'm going to rate this, but I didn't have any programs at my wedding
No,
because it's
but
half an hour.
yeah,
And
but
also, you were all hanging around outside waiting to go in.
yes,
Whereas if it had been at a venue, let's say, you would have been hanging around, waiting around on your seat.
yeah.
So that does make more sense.
So it could have like the order of the day, so everybody knows when they're going to be able to go and get a drink, and it could have a little story from you both, just like a little program for people to have a look at. It's quite
Mhm.
nice. I also have, so you have buttonholes and corsages for the party, like your wedding party. I've seen it a few times where everybody gets one.
Oh,
It's really nice.
that is
So
nice.
they were given. I've been to one, and that was on your seat. Um, and so everybody had one, and so it made you feel like part of the day, and they were all matching. And
Was it assigned seating?
no, all just so I can't actually remember, but the groom and the groomsmen had like roses with thistles, I think it was, and we all just had a thistle.
That's
It's
cute.
just quite nice.
Yeah, that is nice. Great. But how much is that going to cost? But if you're paying for lots of flowers anyway, you probably just absorb that cost.
Yeah.
You wouldn't
And
really
and they're
notice.
not like big buttonholes. They are just small little token corsages. So it could just be a little bit of baby's breath with a little ribbon. It doesn't have to be like
All singing, all
just
dancing.
pick one of the cheaper flowers that's in your floral
Yeah.
arrangements and
Yeah.
come on.
No, I like that.
Um, I've also seen that some people do like a cocktail half an hour before the ceremony. So I rate this because I think it's a really good way to get people to arrive on time.
Yeah.
Because if your ceremony's at 1, sometimes people arrive at 1.
Mm.
And so if you say cocktails at 12:30, nobody's going to miss the cocktails, are they?
No, I'll
So
be there
1,
early.
yeah, everybody feels refreshed. They've sort of got a bearing for the venue already. They're feeling comfortable. Everybody's parked. Everybody's gone to the toilet. Everybody's had a drink. So during your ceremony, they're a little bit more relaxed. They're not thinking, oh, I'm really thirsty. I need a wee and all of that. So I think that's really nice.
That's a
Get
great
people
idea.
talking. Um, and then depending on where you are, like what kind of venue, you could have an activity before. So if you were like at a vineyard, you could have tours of the vineyard before your ceremony. So your ceremony is at
Mm.
3, and then you have a tour at 1 o'clock, tour of the vineyard. Again, people get to know each other. They don't feel like they're waiting around. It's quite nice.
Such a good idea.
Or if you're in like a zoo or something, you could do meet a meerkat, kind of activity
Oh,
experience type thing.
it's so cute.
Yeah, I like that idea. I rate that.
Yeah.
It would only work in some places, but yeah, it's cool. I've got get your guests involved in the vows. So you can often get them to say part of the vows with you. Again, that could be in the program. So you could have typed out your
Yes.
vows and it could be join me when I say this bit, and so people know to join in.
The only risk that you've got there is that it sounds like a drone.
Oh yeah, I think it would.
You know, when people are, um, you know, like the Lord's Prayer, let's say it's a church wedding, they're like, Our Father, who art in like, what, why are you saying it like that? You don't talk like that. So why are you now reading it like that?
Yeah, it could. You're right. It could go a bit drony.
There is a part, isn't it, where in church you say we will,
Yeah,
but
that's
everyone's
it.
like, we will.
I
No,
was thinking more
we
like
will.
I was thinking more like "power to the people" type attitude. I mean, I don't think they're quite the right sentiment there, but give them fun to say.
I think you would need like a few decent people to lead the energy,
Yeah,
and then the rest will follow. So, like, let's say you're in a gospel church, no one's there like, for the, they're all like, woo!
yeah.
You need to get those energy people leading.
So maybe you have it where you have them people join in twice. So the first one's like a bit of a warm up,
Yes,
and then they've seen that Auntie Maud and that person over there and that bridesmaids and that
yeah,
bridesmaid stood up and like waved their hands type thing. And then on the second go,
yeah.
everybody knows the
It's like
pace.
it's like the risk that you take with hymns.
Yeah,
My so Ian sings the hymns.
yeah,
He is a hymn singer. So if everyone else is like, he's like, woo! So, and sometimes he's the only one you can hear.
yeah,
But he'd be a great person to galvanize the troops and
yeah.
energetically say the words back to whoever is the celebrant.
Yeah, maybe you could have a practice run before the ceremony starts. So while everybody's pinning their beautiful corsages on that you've given them and they're reading their little program, You could have the best man say, right, you may have noticed
Yeah.
that there's some audience participation here. Please don't hold back. Let's have a go, you know,
Yeah.
so nobody feels stupid when they
Yeah.
stand up and sort of do it properly.
Says, we will. No, we will.
Oh, yes, we will. And then my favourite of all of them is to end with a toast.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Even if it's just a little lemonade or a Diet Coke, it doesn't have to be like fancy
No,
cocktail. But you could either have somebody hand them out as part of the procession, or it could just be on their seat with a save until that I do type note on it. And then everybody can just raise their can or their glass or however you want to do that and just have a
that's
drink.
that's really nice. But I don't think you get away with that at a church wedding.
No, I don't think
Now,
I handed out the
open the
prosecco's.
tins. I think the vicar may frown upon that.
Yeah. I mean, there might be limitations on that in other places too, but if you're picking a venue, pick one that allows you to do it.
Indoor and outdoor license.
Yeah.
Well, they might not even have to need to have an outdoor license, because if you've got an outdoor space and you're taking your drink from the indoor basket outside, why can you then not have a little toast drink? There's definitely sneaky loopholes. You
I mean,
can do
this
it.
could be a side hustle, couldn't it?
Yep,
Anyway, and that is my favorite.
that's a good one. Yeah. So
Because it's
Tyler,
like,
hope that you're listening and you're taking on board all of our super amazing ideas. Or Jay, if you're listening.
yeah, make it happen, Jay. If not, we will.
We will. Woo! That's it for this week. Please like, subscribe, rate, and share our podcast on whatever platform you listen or watch us on. Keep up to date with the podcast by following our Instagram account. It's at the I Do Crew podcast. Send us your questions or topics you'd like us to chat through, including your feedback on messages from Beyond the Grave. And next week we're talking all things true or false.
Yeah, I'm excited about this, and I'm going to catch you out, I think.
We'll see about that. But until then, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
You've been listening to the I Do Crew podcast with Jen and Emma. Keep up to date with our podcast news by following our I Do Crew podcast Instagram account. Thanks for listening.